So we're good to go. Now we can talk about, the thing about Vegas that I love is, how long have you lived here?
19 years.
Okay, 11. The last thing we want to freaking do is go to the Strip.
No,
right?
Not going to happen.
Right? Like, not going to happen.
Only for a show.
Right.
Dip in, dip out.
Or if you get a friend, like, if you're a friend and we're coming to the fucking
I actually
Strip,
like you.
It's because we love you.
Yeah.
We love you. Like
yes.
your family and or at family level.
Yes.
Right? Like that elite level of friendship.
Because you don't go to the Strip for anybody.
Let's go. Take it to Absinthe. Best show on the Strip.
I just said that last night.
Right?
Best fucking show on the Strip.
You're going to say fuck. It's okay. But to me, I've seen it 3 times.
Yep.
And I would go again in a second.
Yes.
Took Brandy back in, 4 or 5 months ago.
Best show in Las Vegas.
Right?
Yes.
Like, I want the gazillionaire's job.
Yes.
That guy
gets to say anything.
Nobody can riff better than Gazillionaire.
I love them.
It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Like,
I love the intimate setting. I love everything they say. I love that there's no filter. I mean, my face physically hurts when I leave there.
Every time.
Yeah.
And heaven forbid you sit in the first 4 or 5 rows. You're toast.
You're so screwed.
You're fucking toast. I don't care if you think you look great. That guy finds a way to come after you and won't forget you the entire show.
Yes.
Felicia, I'm like, oh my God.
And says everything that you're not supposed to say anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I love it.
That's the thing is like, if anyone's going to get, if he hasn't gotten canceled and there's like 2 or 3 gazillionaires,
you're good.
Those guys haven't got, you're good.
You're good.
You're good. Go in peace, my friend.
Agreed. If they take anything from this podcast, it's that Absinthe is the best show in Las Vegas.
Best show in Las Vegas. And I mean, you've been to a million shows, right?
I
like
have.
all the circuit, like same thing. All the circuit shows, all wonderful, always wonderful.
Yes.
You know, I saw Ka before the person died, so before they had to wear the carabiners and all the other horse shit. Like that's how long ago I saw Ka.
Yeah.
Great, but nothing can compare to
Absinthe.
Absinthe.
Agreed.
It's just a money show, right?
Yep.
It's so freaking good.
This is going to be a good podcast from here on out.
Oh my God, honey, please. It's just, and the thing is that Vegas has so much to offer that people don't even know. Like, took Brandy today, we go to the Hoover Dam. It's beautiful there. And you go up on the Tillman Bridge, and you walk up, you look down, it's like one of the 7 wonders of the world, and the whole thing, and you're like, I haven't been there in years.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy shit, this is beautiful.
Yep. Lone Mountain, Red Rock Loop, Floydland Park, dipping into Charleston and back. 1 hour outside of Vegas, you could be at, where all the trails are out, all the desert.
Valley of Fire?
Yes. Valley of Fire. Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah,
Valley of Fire in like 1 hour. It's unbelievable.
It's fantastic.
Unbelievable. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yep.
It is. It's something that people that live in Las Vegas, we know about it, and that's a long-running thing here. The stereotype is if you live here, oh my God, you live on the Strip. Oh my God, how could you how could you live there and just party every day?
How can you have kids? How can you have a family in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good segue.
Oh, it's wonderful. Let's go down that road.
Having kids in Las Vegas.
Let's go down that road.
Yeah, born in Las Vegas.
So how, because mine is, Alex is 14 and she was born in St. George, but then Jack is born and raised and has been here since he was 7.
Yeah.
Are mine.
Both born and raised, 111, 113. So I'm in that teen era with you, brother.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to go drinking later.
Oh, God. Please.
Yes.
Please.
So they don't know anything different, but we traveled. Again, another check box for Las Vegas, that international airport. I mean, we hop in, we hop out. We're everywhere. I think we're a family that travels like crazy. But then we wanted to go do a nice dinner and a show with the kids. And again, you dip in, you dip out. I mean, it's phenomenal. I live in the extreme northwest part of Las Vegas. I butt up next to Floydland Park. I live on half an acre with grass and greenery and all this stuff. And people see my little Instagram posts and they're like, you're in Vegas? I'm like, yeah. Vegas is super dynamic and it is just filled with, I think, some of the best. Now, I always tell people I had to grow to Las Vegas. There was a little bit of animosity years there. And that's when it's super hot and I don't feel like I'm getting enough green sometimes. But again, you go to the airport, you go to Florida, you go sit on a beach, you come back and you're like, yeah, this is cool. I got this.
Amen, sister.
Yep.
And you have property in Florida.
I do, yes.
And where in Florida?
Both in Destin, Florida.
Okay.
So I have a condo on the Harbor Walk. That's an Airbnb, a short-term rental. And then I just closed on a townhome. I did a 1031 exchange, closed into a townhome that's just still cash flowing, which is something that you don't hear very often anymore. But this property is still cash flowing like tremendously. So yeah, this is a good one.
Okay, let's back up a little bit because I'm so happy you're here.
Okay, hit me.
Like I adore you.
Thank you.
I fucking love your brain, man. Love your fucking brain.
And I love your podcast.
You know,
and all the things that you say on that podcast.
It is, and you know, by the time this goes out, everyone will know, like, I'm no longer Fidelity Title. I'm doing this full time and doing consulting for people to teach them how to find their voice. Because if I can do it, I may not be everyone's cup of tea, but like I just had another one of my videos from 2 days ago was over 100,000 views on Instagram. It's gone viral. And so, because I'm leaning into just me.
Being you.
And being me, which is what and you do the same thing, which I love your style.
Thank you.
Love that. So let's go back to, first of all, you're a veteran.
Yes.
Air Force?
Air Force.
Okay. Let's just walk me through
here.
Because that's like, and by the way, thank you.
Yeah.
It's kick-ass.
Thank you. Yeah. It was one of the biggest blessings of my life. So orders brought me to Las Vegas. My orders said Nellis Air Force Base. And I actually started the drone program up at Creech Air Force Base. Back when I was here, it was still Indian Springs Auxiliary Field. That just tells you how old I am. So I flew the MQ-1, MQ-9 aircraft. I was an instructor evaluator. I deployed. I was part of OIF, OEF, part of crazy ass missions, shot at, bombed at, all the shit.
So there's people that think they're cool because they're gamers. Like I love Call of Duty Mobile. It's my thing. You give me my 50.
You're a badass.
Fucking you, my 50 cal. I have like 2 more times. I have to have 10 or more kills. I have a diamond studded 50 cal.
But have you shot a real 50 cal?
No, when I want to.
Yeah.
I have goosebumps. Don't stop it. My girlfriend's in the other room. Don't do that.
They let you out at the Decatur gun range.
You're
just
happily
so you
married.
know.
Don't go there because now it's like
big guns.
Yeah. And there's gun ranges here that you can do that.
Yes.
It is. There's people like have their gamer chairs with a vibrating lumbar and they think they're fucking cool. And you're like, bitch, I flew fucking drones.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a whole other part of my life that I look back at and I miss it. I miss the camaraderie. I miss the guys. I miss drinking after we're done, doing crazy shit and calling it good. And I miss so much of that. And I'm just so close with so many people that are still doing it. Most of them have graduated to the Pentagon. I mean, they're integrated into levels that are just fucking badass. I dipped in and I dipped out, and I'm so grateful for the time that I had, for sure, and the memories and the stories, and then I became something else.
I've got to ask this one question before we leave that chapter review. What's one of the craziest things that you can talk about, that you want to talk about, of that time?
Craziest. I have so many. This may not be the craziest, but it was something that I was just talking to a girlfriend about on a walk the other day. So it's top of mind. So maybe I'll go here. So my top of mind moment is one of many a times that I should have died in Iraq. We were stationed at an airbase called Balad. And Balad was actually an airbase that we Americans bombed years ago. So it's kind of crazy.
Of course we did.
You'd pick up shrapnel and shit like that. And I'm like, that's probably from our bombs. Anyways, you had to live with the sense of okay if a bomb hit you every single day. Because that was just the fact of the matter. Like, I'm laying in bed and mortars would go. We were called Mortaritaville. The base was called Mortaritaville. We have shirts. I have a shirt at home because we just got mortared every single day. And what a mortar is, for people that don't know, it's essentially a tube where you put a mortar in it and it pops over onto the airfield, and they typically would walk you on to a target, or they would walk onto a target. The target being, in this case, where we slept. So a lot of times they would hit, boom. And that's what it sounded like, boom. And then it would get closer, boom, and it'd get closer. I slept during the days. And you just had a sense of peace on, if it hit me, it hit me, which really made me start living life completely differently. I do believe in God. I am actually religious, believe it or not, with the potty mouth that I have. But, I'd sleep in this bed and I would sit there, and you're supposed to put your helmet and your flak vest on. You're supposed to put all this stuff on when you hear the bombs and the sirens that we're under attack, all this stuff. And you're tired, So you'd hear the boom, and then the boom, boom. And these booms just keep getting closer and closer. And I remember one day I kind of picked up my head and I'm like, okay, one more and I'll put on my flak vest and I'll put on my helmet, And that next one hit me so hard that these little trailers that we slept in, these little tiny ovens in the middle of the desert, the walls just shook. I didn't jump out of bed. I pretty much was thrown/fell out of bed. I mean, I knew that this was close, and I knew I was either hit or the trailer was hit, something. And so sirens are still going off, and I pop outside and I look, and there wasn't that many vehicles allowed on base for people to drive. Only certain officers had vehicles. You're supposed to walk everywhere. You're in a war zone, you know? And for some reason, there's this green Jeep parked in front of my trailer. And where that mortar hit, and all the frag got eaten up from this Jeep was like a flak vest to my trailer, right? I have a picture of it, only a little wind-up camera picture, but that was one of the stories that I was telling my girlfriend, which is I am here for a reason. Like, I laid in bed every single day for 6 months and we got bombed, and there was many a times that I should have died, that a lot of people should have died. And in that specific case, that was one of them, right? Like, why was that car was never parked there, but it was parked there that day, and it absorbed all that frag. You do not leave a country as a woman in a country where women are absolutely hated. You don't leave a country like that and come back to the U.S. and go, I want to do something fucking big with my life.
I thought the Mormons didn't like women, and then I saw what's happens over in the Islamic countries, and you're
they are breeders. There's no other way to say it. They are breeders. They're not even lovers. Like, men will take men as lovers. And again, that's a whole other dynamic that people don't know. Women are breeders. That's it. That is it.
You're basically like out in Lexington, Kentucky, like out to stud.
It's
like
bad.
Kentucky
That's
Derby.
it. Done.
Yeah.
And you see it in their eyes. So anyways, I could talk about that freely. It's nothing mission related, but it is a perspective that I brought back that I love giving people when I can, because not everybody's going to have that opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So
anything that we talk about, by the way, if you have pictures or video of anything, get it to me.
Okay.
Because what we'll do is my guys that edit everything up will put that in.
Okay. I have literally wind up camera pictures. They're the shittiest pictures ever.
Right. Get me whatever you're cool with.
Yeah.
Get that to me whenever. And then my guys will like weave stuff into what we talk about for the shorts,
sure.
which is super cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my gosh, super cool. So how did that, so that happened, which is, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. What years was that going on? Like, when did you come back?
I came home, so I went in 3, 4, so I was over there around the summer of 05.
Okay.
05, 06, and I got out in 07.
Okay.
And I went straight from my flight suit, what do we call them, green bags. So I went straight from my green bag right into civilian clothes the next day. And I kept doing and working in the same building I was as active duty, but as a contractor for another 9 years. So then I became an instructor and evaluator. So I taught the military how to launch, land, employ weapons, and all of that fun stuff.
You know top secret shit, don't you?
I do.
Oh, it's so badass.
I do.
Is there stuff that like you can't even tell your husband?
Yes.
It's like that
level. It's like
level.
an 80-year clause. It's like an 80-year clause.
That's so cool.
It's cool and it's burdening for sure. Like, there was a night that we were a part of a mission where a lot of people died. And I was on a night, that was a night mission. And I came home at Nellis Air Force Base, because drones can be flown on the other side of the world, right, from here. And I came home and I crawled in bed next to my sleeping husband, and I just laid there. Because talk about video games. Talk about being disassociated yet knowing what you just saw was real. Talk about seeing death, but from a lens of a camera, and being able to crawl back in bed. There's a whole mind F there. There's a whole mind F there, you know?
How do you process that?
You know, I have done really well, but a lot of people haven't. And I don't know. I tell my husband that all the time. I don't know why I'm able to compartmentalize and deal with that better than maybe some. I don't know the answer to that.
You did, so you were just you easily just turned a chapter, like when you got out, it was okay, and like went through maybe some therapy or something and had someone to talk to about it, and that was it? I never went through
therapy, which I recommend to anybody and everybody, right?
Yeah.
Again, how I've been able to process it, I don't know. I'm at peace with everything that I was a part of. I saw a lot of horrible things. I saw a lot of people, children die. I've seen the shit, you know? But I think that's why we're supposed to be here doing amazing things and changing lives and being a spokesperson for women and showing people that in this country, you can be anything the fuck you want to be, you know? So
you are, without a doubt, one of the most powerful people, most powerful women, most powerful people that I know.
Oh, thanks, Jeff.
Welcome. It's true. Because you are so open and vulnerable with your content.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something that 98% of the population will never do.
Mm-hmm.
They just get out there and say, here's my open house, and I won this award that I probably paid for, or that, whatever horse shit.
Yep.
And you get up there and some of your stuff is just so real.
Yeah.
And yeah, you've got your real estate stuff, but you have a great balance with how you do it. And I even love how you talk about, I have, my husband and I have a new Airbnb. We're 1031ing this. We're doing this. It's like you practice what you preach. And you have skin in the game as well.
And I try to expose numbers, and I try to tell people this is what I made. Like, the finances are huge, and that's something I've been leaning into even more. I don't know what it was about the age bracket right behind me where we closed all that off. Nobody talked about what they made. I'm thinking, man, expose everything. You know what I mean? Expose everything so that the person behind you can learn that much faster. You know what I mean? So recently I just did a post on the Destin, Florida townhome, and I just broke it down. This is how I did this. And one person made a comment on there, and I really appreciate it because it takes time. I'm like, what did I buy this for? Okay. What did I put into this house? Yeah. I'm tracking down all my numbers, and I'm putting together a really legit post. And somebody posted, and they're like, that was the most masterclass real estate post that I could have ever been a part of. And it was how to buy, hold, 1031, now I'm cash flowing, now my asset is upgraded, so my portfolio is upgrading. And I just said it all, And my husband is a very, I always say, the calm to my storm. So I am the outspoken one. I'm the this. So there's been a couple times I'm like, hey, you cool with me posting this? But now he's cool. He sees it, he's hearting it and liking it and moving on too, You're so good in terms of the balance, because you have family stuff in there and travel and with your boys and all that. And then you get into the weeds in a good way with data. Yeah.
Which I preach that to any of my clients. I'm like, you've got to lead with data.
Yeah.
If you're a realtor, no one gives a shit that you've been in business for 30 years in Las Vegas and your license number is S.000004. No one fucking cares.
Yep.
What they care is, can you help me with my needs in the biggest, most stressful decision of my life in buying or selling a home?
Yep.
And are you going to, whatever is it going to help me get the most from my home or get me into the house I want to?
Yep.
To meet my needs and expectations.
And you have to be, and this stuff varies too. Like the conversation I had in the beginning of the year isn't the conversation that I had with buyers right this second. Isn't the same conversation that I'm going to have in the spring. You know what I mean? So, I say the social media stuff, take sometimes with a grain of salt when it comes out, but I try to stay, on top of pertinent information as well. Just push it out as it comes. I tell Robert, my camera guy, all the time, I'm like, what we just shot needs to go out immediately because it could be old in a month.
Exactly.
It's
the biggest thing now is I'm in the same boat. It's the velocity of your content.
Yeah.
And the faster you can get it out, the better.
Yes.
Because if you're at a sometime 30 to 45 day lag time, when you shoot batch and then give it, it's old news.
It's obsolete already.
It's obsolete.
Yep.
And so that's a whole nother level now that a lot of people are going to is speed. And if something happens, rates go up immediately. Well, guess what? We're talking about that.
Yep.
Or something happens here in Vegas, like with the hackers.
Yeah.
MGM, which they should hire all of them, by the way. There was one of the guys is Vegas Talks, or one of them is great. And he said he had a thing on there that said they've found out that all the hackers, MGM, are 17 to 22 years old. And my comment was they should hire all of them.
Right.
All of them.
Yeah, and overpay. Isn't there a show that was like that where you pay them to come and, the FBI comes and says, come work for us? Yeah.
It is, to me, let's talk about that for a second, because in my experience in having people I know that in the gaming industry notoriously does not pay well.
Right.
They don't.
Yeah.
If you're a blackjack, you're working for tips mostly.
Tips.
That's it.
Cash.
Right? If you're cocktailing.
Which is not good for buying, by the way.
Oh, no. We'll go down that road. And so, their odds are that whoever is working in IT is not being paid well. They are not top of the top.
Yeah.
And these guys went in and got someone in IT, their LinkedIn profile, and got that person's information, called the IT help desk, said whatever they needed to say. So that's like improper training by whoever's at the help desk to verbally give the information out. And next thing you know, they're shutting everything down and setting up, all the malware and ransomware stuff. And it's still going on now.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm going to agree with you on this point that they should hire them. We are so exposed on that side of the house as a country that people should be terrified.
Yeah.
For reals.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Like
Agreed.
that is crazy. You start take somebody's email away, take somebody's phone away, take somebody's electric car away. Like let's take away some of these little things and how we don't even know how to swim anymore. We're such pansies nowadays. It's crazy.
Well said. I think that we're like veal-fed calves.
We're
we're just lambs going to slaughter, man. That's it. We're waiting. We're mutton.
And not prepared to work and not prepared to get sweaty and all of these things that just drives me nuts. Drives me crazy.
Why is it that my two top viral posts, one's at 2.3 million, one's over 100,000, are about parenting and how I don't coddle my kids? Why are those the ones that go viral?
I think people are high-fiving you through the freaking phone. Like they're so, yeah, my kids don't have a phone. My oldest just figured out that we had an old phone and he powered it on. He's like, but this works and I could do an app. And I'm like, but that still doesn't mean that you have a phone. They're 11 and 13 and that's an abnormality. Like, but mom, everybody in the school has a phone. I'm like, I just don't see the need yet for a phone, And that's been like, I'm like my heels in the sand type thing, Yeah, it's crazy, man. The whole parenting in today's society is crazy.
Let's have that conversation.
Okay.
Because it was funny. I had a video that when I worked at Fidelity, they made me take it down because I swore and there was an escrow officer that was here. And so they were like, you can't do that. Another Fidelity employee, you can't do that. Which okay, fine.
Yeah.
But my statement was, if you don't let your kids on social media right now, you're a shitty parent.
I actually agree with you. So yesterday, my son got blasted for having, let me use their verbiage. The kid at school said that he said something like, like your TikToks are whack. Probably in a cooler way. Your TikToks are whack. And man, if they're going to post, then they better be open to having these negative comments, right? If you're going to post, you also need to understand how powerful that can be. My son had a reel that it has like 50,000 views from like last week. And it was about him memorizing and saying the American Creed. I didn't even know he was memorizing it behind the scenes, but he memorized it and he said it beautifully and he volunteered to go first in his class and it was a really proud mommy moment. And some people just needed that patriotism again. So they're watching that because they're like, oh, fill my cup. I needed that today. Thank you so much that is still out there because it's just not right now. It's not amongst adults. It's not amongst our youth. Our education system is failing our children, all of these things. So I think it was that hit that everybody needed. You were like a little line of Coke. I hate to say parenting with Coke, but they were like, oh, thank God that he's saying that to his kids. I think it was Dana White. I could have this wrong, but I think it was Dana White that said not too long ago, if my children are remotely savage, they are going to destroy their competition. Mom and dad had to be ridiculously savage to be the top 1%. But everybody's becoming so freaking lazy that if you're remotely savage, you will dominate it. And that's so true.
That is what, whenever I talk about it, it immediately goes viral online.
Yeah.
And it's because I preach that and I say, I don't coddle my kids. And that I teach them to figure stuff out, growth mindset. And if they can't find something, go look for it, figure it out. Once they've exhausted every option, then I'll give them direction on where it is.
Yep.
And that's also hard for a parent to do because guess what? Then you have to fucking parent.
Yep.
And that's hard because it's much easier to do it for them.
It's way easier letting them just be on the computer, be on the iPad, be on the phone.
But
way easier.
But your job as a parent is to make your kids a better version than you.
Amen. That's what I say all the time. Not just a better version. Like I want them to dominate me. Anything that I did in life, you are capable of so much more, dude. This morning, sitting in the car my oldest, he's going through that 13-year-old phase that honestly, 2 years ago, I didn't even think I was going to have to deal with because, you think your kids sometimes are untouchable with how other kids act. Well, he's being a little negative on himself. the way he looks, the way his hair is. Obviously, there's influence starting to attack him a little bit, right? So this morning, he's sitting in the car. I actually let little brother go, and I had him stay in the car. And I was like, we're just going to work on the power of what you tell yourself, okay? So we are going to sit here, and you are going to say what I say, but you're going to look at me, and you're going to say it. And I don't care if you even believe it, but I'm going to show you the power of what comes up out of your mouth or what you think in your head and how it physically makes you feel. And I said, look at me. And I said, Nolan, say, Mommy, I'm handsome. Mommy, I'm handsome. You know, he's not bought in, right? Mommy, I'm going to have the best day today, you know, da-da-da. So we did like 15 of these, right? And ones that he didn't really fully bought into, but you saw his entire body change. And by the time we were done, I said, now go out there and fucking conquer the day, dude. But that's the stuff that you have to be telling yourself. Yeah. You know, I can't even let him get into because if as soon as he starts going down that path of that negative, no, I don't like what my hair looks like. No. I'm not raising a pansy either. Dude, suck it up. And we all are not going to look perfect.
Your kids, 10 years from now, 15 years from now, when they're employed, compared to a kid who parents did everything for them, who's going to do better at work? Who's going to be not a drag on their superior or on themselves if they're working for themselves as a realtor because they're figuring shit out on their own because that's all they know growing up was figure stuff out. And there is a great divide in this country with people that look different ways. And I will bet my life on how I parent now in a, like their mom and I divorced. We get along well. We co-parent very well. And we might not agree with each other's stuff, but we respect each other. And the kids see that. And we put our kids first.
It's awesome.
I love my kids, love them.
Right.
Would take a bullet for them in a second, as any parent should.
Yep.
But even better than that, I stop what I'm doing to help them. I stop what I'm doing to help. And I know, like, I have a wonderful 14-year-old daughter and all the things that go on when you're a 14-year-old girl, which I sympathize. I cannot empathize with it, but I know when I get her at the bus stop, she goes to LVA, takes the bus to Coronado, and I pick her up. If she's quiet, she's tired. Yeah. That poor girl has to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. How healthy is that
for a
14-year-old fucking brain, Felicia, to wake up and then take a 45-minute bus ride, go to LVA, and she's in performing arts and Broadway musical theater, does her thing, and comes back like she's drained. And I ache for her. But then again, it's making her a better version. Like,
because let's be honest, her life, and my kids were at church the other day, her life doesn't suck. Because you've already elevated it to another level. So that's her version of suck, right? My kids were at church the other night on Wednesday, and there was all these testimonies happening. And Nolan, my oldest again, goes, Mom, there were some crazy stories. I'm like what, buddy? We're driving home, and he's exploring those with you. And I go, did you stand up and give any kind of testimony? And this was his answer. And this is where it's okay for us to have leveled up our game as parents, because my childhood sucked and my kid's childhood doesn't. And sometimes I worry about that. But this answer made it hit right for me. And he looks at me and he goes, no. He goes, Mom, I don't have a bad life. I'll take that. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Win. That's a touchdown.
That's a win,
honey,
right?
You literally,
he knew.
Heaven forbid, you get hit by a bus right now, you're like, I'm a good mom.
And that every moment counts. Like what you just said, where you're like, I love my kids. I won't coddle them, this, that, the other. It's harder to parent, but that is what is always going through my brain. And my kids know this because sometimes I freak them out. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. I'm very in touch with that. So when my kids are in front of me and I have the opportunity to parent or talk about the hard things, let's do that. And I hate to say this, but I may be dead tomorrow. You may be dead tomorrow. What did you talk to your kids about today? Or did you take the easy way out and let them go play on their iPad for 5 hours? Right. You know what I mean?
The thing I love about all of this, is it's a video scrapbook.
Yes. Amen.
So that when in 100 years from now, my great-great-grandkids,
I say this all the time
can go back and look at, there's great-grandpa Jeff. Let's Google Fargo Talks. Google Jeff Fargo, and there's all these videos that come up. Because My mom passed away in February.
I know.
And I spent thousands of dollars on iMemories and Legacy Box, all this stuff I had to get. And it was so cool because we did a whole like final bash for her. Like I put in what's a funnier way of a celebration of life in ChatGPT. It came up with all these really cool names. That's what we called it. 150 people show up, Canandaigua Lake, her country club. And I just did this long video and I stitched it all together of a lot of like Super 8 videos of her and my dad back when they were married in Jamaica, 1967 on their fucking honeymoon.
That's awesome.
Like he looked like James Bond with his short shorts and the dive fucking thing on.
Awesome.
You know, it was Falisha, it was, and people were riveted to this. And I'm like, but that wouldn't have been there unless I went ahead being a video guy and uploaded all that stuff. My kids don't have to deal with that now. What they have is Google, and they can go in and look at my YouTube channel or Instagram or Facebook or whatever.
I say that all the time.
And it's something, it is a legacy that we are leaving to future generations of our pedigree. And I love that.
And hopefully of our morphing too, because we're not done growing. You know, what I said 5 years ago may not be what I said today. It wasn't what I said before kids, definitely not what I'm going to say after kids. You know what I mean?
I love looking at, there's like all these little black and white shit now of like scientists or people talking about AI back in the 60s.
That's crazy.
And a lot of it is dead on.
Yeah.
Like these really smart guys with like the horn rim glasses, whatever, and they got the black thin tie. It's 1961. And the guy's talking like this because he just smoked a Lucky and he's buying war bonds and fucking whatever horse shit. Right? But the stuff they're saying about the power of artificial intelligence, and now we're in it. We are balls deep in it. And for anyone that's not in it, you're done. You're done. It's not you're going to be inhibited. You're done. Especially in real estate. If you are not in on Bard or ChatGPT or Llama on literally a daily basis on how it's going to systematize what you're doing, you're done.
Dude, there's so much, not just real estate. I mean, just everything in life. Because again, remember my Air Force, I've already seen that chapter go from what we were flying to what we're doing now to where we're going. Our whole world is just, I feel like we're the snowball techie thing, but our snowball is halfway down the mountain and now it's gaining speed and it's going so fast that either you're a part of it or you're not.
Let's talk about as much as you want to, but the one thing I love talking about with my friends here, because I love your business plan and you do very well. And it's because you've got a little something going on here, a little something going on here, a little something going on here. So you're so diversified in what you're doing. Let's first start with you building the foundation of being a realtor.
Okay.
Because you've got all this experience from the military. Of like some serious shit you went through. All of a sudden, for some god-awful reason, you're like, I'm going to be a fucking real estate agent.
There was logic there, I promise you, Jeff. I promise you.
What the fuck were you thinking?
Well, I 10x'd my income, so let's start there.
Fair enough. Oh, no, fair enough. But I'm like, you're like, you could have probably gone and been like a consultant for General Dynamics, Raytheon, like somebody, or done something lobbying in Washington, because you're at that level of what you were doing. What got you into real estate, first of all? And then walk me through a little bit, but like how you got into it and then how you built.
Okay, so rewind to the biggest documented real estate crash in the history of mankind, right? That was me. I bought at the very top, and the next week, the very top, like the next week is when like housing prices started to go down, and I'm reaching out to people like, what's going on? So anyways, I get to say this too, which is I bought at the very peak, and I held that property, and I sold it for a $50,000 profit. And if I would have sold it 2 years later, I would have made $130,000 on it, essentially. So I get to actually say that I bought and survived the largest documented real estate crash on the books and still made $50K because all I had to do was hold. So I feel like I have the answer to real estate, which is if you buy, hold, and you can weather almost any storm. Because all you're doing is you're putting your little green Monopoly pieces on the board, and then later you're switching them for a red one and switching them for a red one. And now you're going to take this red one and you're going to roll it into commercial. I mean, it's real life Monopoly, but you got to get the pieces on the board, right? So I did that. Then the market crashed. And I went to work and everybody was short selling their property. And one of my coworkers was short selling her property. That was a little 2-bedroom, 2-bath that I had visited. I had partied in. I had seen it. I had seen all the upgrades. And I said, what are you selling it for? And she told me it was like $75,000 for a 2-bed, 2-bath, single story home in the north part of Las Vegas. And I did not know what I was doing, but I knew as an investment property, I'm like, okay, I think I need about 20%. Okay, what's that? So I go home, caught Nick on the toilet. I was so excited to buy this house. I ran upstairs. Nick's echoing from the bathroom. I fling open the door because that's our marriage. Yes, we talk to each other while on the toilet. There's some back end information.
Literally.
He's sitting there, literally. And he's sitting there and I'm like, so-and-so's selling our house for $75,000. I think we should buy it. And he goes, yeah. And I'm like, cool. Slammed the door and walked out. That was my biggest real estate vector of my life. And we bought that house and that mortgage was about $500. And I turned around and I rented it for $1,000. And again, I suck at math, but I was like, that makes sense. Let's go do that again. So I started buying a house, and that was when I was 24. So I started buying a house a year, every single year. We were the most not fun 24-year-olds ever because it took every penny that we could scrape up to put down to buy a house. I mean, it was everything. So think about whatever you have in your savings. Think about draining that on this dream, right? So we built our portfolio up to about 6 homes. And I got super morbid because that's what I do. And I was making a bed one night with my husband. I'm like, what happens if you die? What's my game plan? Let's talk through that. And vice versa. What happens if I die? What do you need to do? And are we in a position to do whatever it is that we need to do? So we're literally making our bed or pulling down the bed for this night. And I said, you know what? We have 6 homes. That would cost me XYZ in commissions to sell. And if I am a single mom with 2 kids, maybe I should go get my real estate license. Even by selling my own property, if I had to, that is more money in my pocket if I needed it, if you're dead. That's why I got my real estate license. This is what I didn't know. And I tell this story over and over and over again. That while I'm up at Creech Air Force Base, flying missions, landing planes, debriefing, and writing grade sheets, swap over, and I'd start studying for my real estate license. And everybody up there saw me doing it. Everybody saw me studying openly for my real estate license. Then a chair would come up and swivel around and somebody go, hey, I want to buy a house. And I'm like, awesome. I don't have my license yet. Yeah, I know. When can you help me? They did not fucking care. They did not care. Then another chair, then another chair. I tell this story all the time. I had 7 transactions in my hands and I had to call who I thought my broker was going to be and be like, can you do these? And I can just go underneath you somehow. I had 7 transactions before I ever had my license. And it was the biggest epiphany of my life, which is especially in the military family. I didn't need 28 years of experience. They needed to trust me. That was it. And they trusted me because I was no bullshit in the GCS. I was no bullshit in uniform. And they knew that I was going to have their back when it came to buying or selling. And that was the moment where I went, wow, I don't really know anybody who's coining them a VA specialist. I don't know anybody who's dominating this field. And so I started to do real estate nights, weekends, mornings, nights, and weekends with 2 kids, with a husband who's a firefighter, gone half the month, while flying missions that sometimes had me up at 2:30 in the morning. And I was killing myself. But in 1 year, I was able to match my 6-figure income that I was making as a contractor. And that was morning, nights, and weekends. And I went, there's something here.
What were some of the initial systems you put into place as a realtor?
TC, number 1. I had to, because I was finding myself up. And mind you, nobody fucking taught me this. And there wasn't Instagram and there wasn't all these YouTubes. There just wasn't. And so I truly can say that I kind of had to go through the figuring out process. And I wish, and that's why I do the content that I do. Even a 30-second reel, I could be like, get a TC and then get a buyer's agent, get a personal assistant. These are the steps in life that will expedite your journey. So I got a TC because I was up till 11 o'clock at night doing SRPDs. What? That's not making me money. And now I am all in on that. If it doesn't make me money, I don't do it. I don't fill up my car. I don't detail my car. I don't get my car maintenance. I don't buy groceries. I don't drop off my dry cleaning. And some people may think that that's cocky now, but it's not. It's at the level where my time is best spent shaking hands and being in a room with people. So you pay to cast that off. Yeah. So the first thing was a TC that transformed my life. The second one was another agent. I needed to duplicate myself. Then I realized, wow, this is really about duplicating myself, but it's also about branding and making sure that the person that people thought that they were coming to use, This isn't me shoving you off to another agent. This is in addition to, you also get this person who is fucking amazing.
It's the best way for people to get the best version of you.
Yeah.
Is when you've systematized your business plan.
Yep. I've got so many videos and things. As soon as a guy said today, he just beat me to it. He goes, hey, is Kayla Bernstein on your team? And I'm like, you beat me to it, dude. She is. And as a matter of fact, because you're only going to see her in email form, I've created this video for you to get a little FaceTime. So meet Kayla. Boom. Drop a video in there that's Kayla. Hi, I'm Kayla. I'm your transaction coordinator. This, that, the other. I've got these videos that I implement through the entire process that shows not only my face. So while I'm in Italy shopping for a house, they're still seeing my face. They're seeing the brand, but they get that we have systematized this to hand hold them through the process. And to this day, regardless of AI and everything else, people still are going to want that. They are going to want to go, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm buying a house and I'm scared shitless. Who do I trust? And that's where we come in.
The more you can answer their questions before they're even asked.
Yep.
Is the greatest way to build a relationship with somebody.
Yep.
In business, personal, whatever.
And in real estate, I don't know if there's anything easier because they're the same questions. They're the same questions. It's just a circle. So they're not asking anything cosmic. You're 100% correct. You know what's coming. How do you systematize that? That's the question.
Yeah. And that's a question I ask a lot of my friends when they come in is, what are your systems?
Yeah.
And everyone's open about, like, I do this, this, and this. This is my CRM. This is how I do it. This is how I'm leveraging ChatGPT with Zapier and how I'm doing automatic responses and everything else. But it's staying ahead and for you to swim in your lane. Because
totally
the
agree.
minute you deviate, it's like if you're flying a plane, if you're off by 1 degree,
you're going to miss the runway.
You're flying from here to Heathrow.
Yeah.
You're in, a
different continent.
You're in Barcelona.
Yeah.
You're gone, man.
Yep.
And so that's what so many agents, I think, get into it. I forget what it is here, but somebody I saw a presentation like in Florida. It's like 150 hours to become a real estate agent, but like 1,000 hours to be an esthetician.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
And so it's this much to cut hair or to give someone a facial, but it's this much if someone's going to buy like a piece of property or sell a piece of property for you to represent them. The barrier of entry is so low.
Yeah.
The barrier of entry is so low to get in to be a realtor. Hence, 80 to 85% of realtors suck.
Yep.
There's not fucking good. And with all the shit going on now with the lawsuits and all that, which is it's happening.
Yeah.
It's
I
coming.
I know.
When you're hearing all the time now, this person's settling, this company's settling, they see.
Yep.
And they'd rather pay now than weather that storm.
I hear you.
You're not going to outspend the federal government.
Right.
You know that.
Yep.
And once they've got their teeth into something, they're not going anywhere.
Yep.
And for me, I think it's a long time coming.
But it's coming.
It's coming. It's a coming, y'all. And you all better be ready for it.
Yep.
If you're not, Costco's hiring.
Yes.
Amazon's hiring.
Yes.
Get out.
Hence me being a real estate investor as well. Being a realtor is a vessel to my portfolio building. I love my people and I love what I do. But what I am doing is building a portfolio and building a lifestyle for my family. So if and when things change in any kind of way, which honestly, I'm in this for years, but I'm in it. I'm like in the grind for probably another 5. And then I'm going to go live.
Good for you.
But you are 100% correct. If you haven't figured your shit out right now, it's coming down. It's coming down the pipe.
You either need to find somebody to help you.
Yeah.
Or get the fuck out.
Yep.
Full stop. Mm-hmm. Because realtors have had it good for so long. And I don't care that all of a sudden now there's a rightful course correction is going on now. But for how many years did all y'all have it? Like, you could stand out in front of a house with a fucking monkey suit.
And what do you have to show for it? Let me start there, because that drives me insane. You are right. I think people in the real estate industry make an absurd amount of money. They have the potential to make an absurd amount of money. They also have the potential to act absurd. I can't stand it. This industry actually drives me insane. The people, the money, the attitudes, the lifestyle, the lifestyle, and you don't even do that much business, like I just can't take a lot of it. That's why you don't see me in a lot of it. You see me making my content, and you see me with my family, and you see me traveling, and you see me trying to educate other people. I don't want anything to do with all that other stuff.
Yeah.
You guys are living a fantasy. You're literally trying to live a lifestyle you can't afford, and you're idiots.
It's so good with your stuff. Like, I remember, and I've talked about this, I went and met with an agent at one of the top brokerages in town, and he had a Mercedes, an E-Class Mercedes, and he's a kid. I'm like, dude, like, super nice car. I go, can I ask you a question? Yeah, what's your payment? He goes, about $1,500 a month. And he was renting. What?
Yeah.
And was renting.
Yeah.
And I said, what on God's green earth are you thinking? And he said, I have to uphold a certain image because of the brokerage I'm at.
That's such bullshit.
And the clientele that's coming in. And I said, you are so full of shit. You have no idea what you're saying right now.
Totally.
I go, if you don't have a therapist, Barb Perry, she's over on the other side of town. I love her. Deals with trauma all the time. I love her.
Good for you.
Go see Barb.
Here's her card.
Go see Barb. Because
dude,
holy shit, you are so far removed from reality that what are you thinking to be going down that road when you're trying to impress other people? There's no self-gratification with that whatsoever.
No. And the people that, and there's so many people that can see through that. You think you're upholding a self-image. It's, especially in the real estate industry, it's not difficult to find out what people make. Yeah. In our industry, how much money I make. Yeah. I mean, there's a really good estimate out there, right?
Go on fucking Zillow. So that, put your name, Falisha Rexford.
How many deals did you do? Let's do an average of.
Falisha Rexford, comma Las Vegas, comma Zillow, and you're going to see within reason how many deals you've done.
Yes.
That's about 90% accurate.
Times that by a certain percentage, you're going to get a ballpark,
a great idea of what you've done in the past year in terms of revenue coming in, GCI.
So when you see, in the industry specifically, with the people that do that, I just can't stand it, because you're also a liar. Yeah. You're a liar. You know what I mean? You're also showing the next kid to be broken poor because you have to uphold an image. That's crazy.
There's a storm coming on multiple fronts in the real estate industry that's really going to shake shit up. And I love Steve Hawks. I want to share my Xanax with him sometimes because he just like that.
His brain is on a different level, and he doesn't realize that.
He is one of the smartest guys in the room.
That's what I'm saying. He is.
He's one of the guys that, like, I used to love to play craps back when I used to gamble.
He's the guy that
bets against the dice. That's him.
See, Steve, that's why.
When you throw fucking, a 12, when you throw fucking 2, when you fucking, or a 7 crap out, Steve gets fucking paid.
Yeah.
And that happens more than you think.
Yeah.
So to come to town and to start doing 1% listings, which is really just a teaser for other stuff. But he's been talking about the whole NAR lawsuit thing and a lot of other things going on. And he does talk above the normal audience because the normal audience isn't educated enough or care enough.
Yeah.
About real estate, where you, him, many others in town that are successful wake up unemployed every day as a realtor and treat it as a craft, as an art form.
Yep.
On another level, like Jedi level fucking real estate agents. And that's where he's at, that's where you're at, and some other people are like that as well. But unless you get involved now with AI, unless you get involved with, you have a TC, you have a showing agent.
Oh, you're toast.
You are
toast. And this is going to be super interesting, I think, because what I've seen in this specific market, let's just say January 2023, is I know too many people who didn't close one deal from like January to March or April. And this isn't a dig on one person. I know many people who have shared with me that they didn't close anything in first quarter. So what did everybody do? Everybody cut back, because they weren't able to weather their storm. So every single person cut their TC, they cut their team. I've watched everybody's teams dwindle down. We did everything so right that my team stayed in place. And even today, we're September, I don't know what the hell's going on, but we've got this little boom happening right now because it's just fucking coming in like crazy. But the part is, when the rates go down and buyers flock back to the market, all the people that cut everything down to their bones for their business, they're not going to be able to handle it. You'll have business. That's great. You're also going to be exhausted, dead, a terrible dad, a terrible mom. You're going to be terrible to be around, all these things. So in scarcity, you can't cut back that stuff, right? You actually have to do the opposite. You have to double down. But that's okay, because that's where we wean the weak. Like, the weak are gone.
It's a thinning of the herd.
Yeah.
When I get fired from Fidelity 3 weeks ago, 4 title companies in 9 years. So I'm like, wait a minute, what am I doing here? Why does I keep hitting the ceiling every time when I go, and I'm getting 6-figure signing bonuses, and I'm not saying this out of bravado, it's just a fucking fact.
Yeah.
Because I was the first one in town to do Facebook Live videos. I was doing Periscope videos when I was at Fatco 9 years ago. And I've built just a savviness about how to leverage digital and how to leverage video and do this.
Yeah.
And why should I keep going to these title companies that are paying me a lot of money and they say you can do whatever you want to, but then within a year to 2 years, like, nope, you can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
We can't, again, God bless them, but we can't track the amount of escrows coming in from your podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because now, to all these people that I couldn't work with before, now I'm like, okay, you're going to hire me for an hour a month, and I'm going to go through all your strategy. I'm going to sign a contract that has a confidentiality agreement, everything. The number of people I wanted to hire, I'm launching November 1.
That's awesome.
I'm at 42%, 43% commitments already from people that are saying, I'm in.
Yep.
And for me to go, I'll go talk somewhere, you're going to pay me to talk.
Yeah.
There's a fee for that now for me.
Yeah.
Because what I bring to the table, I know I'm the smartest guy in the room with a lot of that shit. And I think that the role of the title rep is going the way of the dodo bird. I think it's gone.
Yeah.
And that's no shade on anyone who's in town that is a rep, but it's, if you think that going into a real estate office with a fucking box of donuts from Krispy Kreme is going to earn the business of a realtor
that's using cutting edge video and everything.
Worked so hard on their own business to earn someone's business that it's going to go to a title company because you gave them a fucking a desk calendar?
Yeah.
No. And even with MSAs, with people getting paid, no, it's prostitution. And you're still held hostage. You're held hostage by the shittiest escrow officer that's there.
Yeah.
That you end up working with sometimes. And so I'm saying, you know what? Again, no shade, because there are some very good reps in town, but I have a feeling very soon they're doing the same thing I'm doing, where they're saying, you know what? I'm now a hired gun. When I meet with clients, I have 4 EOs, all work for different companies who I know. I have no relationship with them except I've worked with them and they're fucking awesome. Interview them. I'll sit in with you and we'll interview them together.
Yeah.
Because if you're just going with an EO because you like the title rep, I can't stand that one.
Yeah.
Or, I've got this escrow officer, Fern Flanagan at Fuck You Title over at Uncle Jimmy's Title Shack in Moapa. Yeah. And I've used Fern forever. We're going out for drinks together. I've been to her kids' christenings. Don't give a shit. Fuck Fern. Unless Fern is on cutting edge technology to get you, everything needs to be done, digitized, ready to go, has the experience to put fires out before you know they're even there.
It's true.
And that your TC is in love with whoever that EO is. That's what needs to happen in title and escrow, and it's not happening. Because the reps are beholden to, again, the EOs they work with. And they're being told, and there's shit now I'll talk about all the time. It is ruthless with title and escrow in this town.
Oh, I bet.
That you don't know, because the good ones never air their dirty laundry.
Yeah. I've heard stories. And again, when we were saying, like, I'm like, I don't want any part of it. I don't want any part of it, man.
You don't. And it is, but it is so cutthroat.
It's crazy.
That it's like the shit that gets said or the rumors that get started. There was a rumor that got started about me years ago. I could talk about it now. That I was at Fatco, and Fatco was fined $10,000, as was I, from the Division of Insurance.
Okay.
And it was another rep from another company called me and asked me about it. This was years ago. And I said, did you ever look at FOIL, Freedom of Information? Like, you can look and see who got fined. Ever look and see? Is my name ever come? No, I never looked it up. But everyone's talking about it.
Oh.
I went, interesting. First of all, if I get a fucking fine, add a 0 to that number.
Yeah.
$10,000 is fucking insulting.
Yeah.
It better be $100,000. If I'm going down, I'm fucking Bernie Madoff, motherfucker. I'm going down like Babe Ruth dropping fucking bombs. And it was interesting, and I said, but you never looked it up on the division's website or their newsletter or anything. No. But that's the rumor that circulated for a while that I got fined. Not true. I have no problem talking about anything I've done wrong in the business.
Yeah.
But it's ruthless in title and escrow, and no one knows about it. And now what I'm doing is saying, I'm not only going to help you with your systems and your AI and your digital and all that horseshit and your video, but I'll protect you from all the bullshit with the EOs in town. And you better grow a set, because if you're just going to go ahead with any escrow officers to get the deal done, you're an idiot. My opinion, this is my 2 cents, but I think you're an idiot if you do that, because you're not doing your clients the best service.
Right.
And it only takes one time to work with Fern Flanagan, and she just does a horrific job. And next thing you know, the next time she's on a deal, you're like, oh, hell no.
Yep.
Then you dig your heels in. Why do you have to wait for that one deal to go sideways? Where then you burn a bridge.
Yep. Yeah, you're like hitting a chord today. You're hitting a
You're starting
chord
to twitch
today.
a little bit. You're going to start to twitch. Yeah.
Little vomit.
Yeah,
moment.
like that's
I
what,
had a bad one today.
That's my value proposition that I'll be bringing to the market, is to say, I am a ship without a fucking harbor. And I can go to any port that I want to now. And I have 4 EOs at 4 different title companies that don't even hardly know each other, to say, I've worked with her, and her. And I'll sit and interview them with you. And let's work with them and see what happens. And if you want a desk calendar, call your rep.
Yeah.
Need an app? Call your rep.
Yeah.
But how much of that can be systematized?
Yes.
You know, like some title companies, you can't even talk about AI.
Yeah.
At all. There's a gag order on you.
Wow.
Because attorneys are afraid about copyright infringement. I won't say who.
Yeah.
But they're
out there.
You're being told that you cannot even mention ChatGPT.
Wow.
At all. How does that give you a competitive edge?
It does not.
When there's other title companies out there talking about
right.
ChatGPT and building prompts and the whole thing. 90% of my stuff is ChatGPT or Bard.
Wow.
Everything. I have a super prompt.
Yeah.
That builds all of my, what I do is I take 30-second clips. I use Descript, $30 a month. It takes the short form video and creates a transcript of what we talked about. I take that, I put it in ChatGPT. I do a little bio on you. All I do is Google you, Zillow, and copy, or from your website, copy and paste. Here's Falisha. She's at Urban Nest. Here's a fucking team. Here's what she does. She kicks ass. And then you already know me from other shit. And then here's what we talked about. Create 10 socially engageable headlines that are edgy. Create a description of the video, an overview of the video, and then where to contact me and every single one of my socials, including my RSS feed.
He's asking me about systemization, but
and also 5 hashtags. And the 3 hashtags are Fargo Talks and my name and the guest name, and then 2 ones that are trending from the actual transcript.
Nice.
And that goes into YouTube Shorts.
Nice. Yep. And where else? Where else?
Oh my God.
Instagram, you're putting it on everything, right?
I am YouTube Shorts.
Okay.
I am, then I jump over and do LinkedIn. A lot of people don't do LinkedIn. You're an idiot. Get on LinkedIn.
Okay.
It's a great one.
Okay.
Then I do TikTok. Then I do Facebook, my personal page, regular posts. Then I do Facebook business page reels. I'm getting more play off of my business page reels than my personal page. So business page reels.
Okay.
Then I go over to Instagram reels, share it to stories.
Yeah.
Then I bounce back for some reason, share it to my Facebook stories, business page and personal. Then I do threads.
Wow.
I'm on there. And then I think that's it. And that's 10. I'm sure I'm leaving one out.
So you're putting video on LinkedIn?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm doing, and this is what I'm doing that's also
takeaway.
big, that's gotten my subscriber base is going up with my YouTube channel, is I do the engageable title, and then I have a call to action to subscribe to my YouTube channel with the link.
Huge.
And if it's in TikTok or Instagram, I just say link in bio, because you can't put an embedded link in there. So I just do link in bio, the call to action there with the 5 hashtags.
Huge.
And copy and paste. I think about half an hour a day. That's like I wake up in the morning, I go pee, I post.
Yeah.
And I have a team that's on my
how much are you
shit.
batching?
All my stuff is batched.
Like how
Everything.
much do you have sitting on the side right now? Like months?
I have 16 to 17 videos right now batched. I pick from what I want with what I feel is relevant. And it's good because also what happens is like Chuckus, who's over at Simply Vegas, love him because when he was posting stuff, his people were also sending me copies of everything.
Right.
But also they're being very professional. They're tagging me or adding me as a collaborator with everything.
Right.
Which is, so you know, you fucking come in here, fucking tag me.
Yeah.
Because to do all this is about $1,000.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Yes.
Between the time here, the editing and all that, cost of doing business, I do it.
Yeah.
Fine with that.
Yep.
But
the least you can do is do the tag so I can
show me a little bit of love.
Yep.
And tag me on whatever platform, because I guarantee I'm on every single platform you're posting to.
That's a good thing to talk about really fast, because I feel like the people like you and I are out there and we're making these videos and doing all this stuff. And I have so many friends that like truly love me and encourage me to do better and stuff. Just a kind reminder, like the heart, the comments, the shares. If you got a reel that like means a lot, like don't be afraid to just share it. Even if you're not a big social media person, just share it. That is one of the biggest compliments, because again, and let me also say this, a lot of people think that I love social media. Like, she must love social media. She's always making these reels. This is business. This is business. This is time away from my family. This is money. This is me staying educated to bring you education. This is so hard, you know? And so to all the people out there like that love us or what have you, or want to encourage us, and even if you're not in social media, if you love something, share it, man. Share it, comment, do the things. Like, don't just go by and comment or heart, you know, like engage. That is the biggest hug that you could ever give me.
The nicest thing that someone can do, it takes literally under 5 seconds to give you love on Instagram, is one, share your post to their stories.
Yes.
And bookmark it as something that they really love.
Yes, to go back and
just do that. And then your job is to go back, like I'm doing it now because I've got one going viral. I'm over 100,000 within 48 hours. It's getting 10 to 15 shares a day.
Yeah.
I go into every one of those. I don't do a copy and paste thanks, because the algorithm can pick that up if you're copy and pasting. I type thanks. If it's a guy, fist bump emoji. If it's a girl, high five emoji.
Yep.
And then I do the hands clapping thing in the heart. Yep. Every time my stuff gets shared.
Thank you for sharing my stuff. That's what it is. Right.
Because then that gives even more love to the algorithms.
Yeah.
To say you're engaging at the story level is huge.
Yeah. And I'm telling you guys, it is work. There are times that I use my social media as a type of journaling. Like, I'll be pretty in depth with how I'm feeling with my kids or my marriage or whatever it is. And when people take the time to go and write you like a nice comment, I make sure to get back to them, because that is what is keeping the social media part alive. Robert will always say it. He's like, you can't just do the media part of social media. You have to do the socialization. Yeah. And I do like that part, because that part makes me feel like I had coffee with my friend.
Wonderful.
You know what I mean? When somebody says something really nice, it's like that, oh man, I haven't seen you in 2 years. That was super cool. You know what I mean? Thank you for coming in and engaging me on this post. But again, this is just, if we make this a reel, this is encouragement that is the biggest form of flattery or the biggest support that you can give me, because this cost me money and time away from my family. It's Friday night. My kids are home. I haven't seen them all week because it's grind time Monday through Friday day. It's Friday night and I'm here. You know what I mean? So if you like the reel, share the fucking reel. You know?
Like it, share it.
Bookmark it.
Bookmark it. Leave a little comment.
Yes.
Move on. If you really love.
Yes, if you do. I'm not asking you to do everything.
And that's for you, for me, for anybody.
Yes.
What that does for the algorithms is just, that's Mark Zuckerberg is literally like half hard if you're doing that.
Right.
From his place in Kauai.
Right.
Which he pays for with all the stupid money realtors pay to boost something.
Right.
Whole other fucking conversation.
Right.
But I think that people they just are scrolling, and they hit the heart. Hearts is like kissing your mom.
Yes. It's so easy.
Liking a comment right now is like kissing your mother.
So easy.
Develop, if you really want to take it to another level, develop a really good a good GIF game.
Yeah.
And put some cute little video in there.
Yeah.
And it's like, think of whatever comes to your mind, whatever word or phrase.
Yep.
Do the search for GIFs, and then whatever comes up that you like, put that in there.
Yeah. No, I like that.
It's super cool. Yeah. And again, people are like, I don't have time. I go, you got to take a shit, don't you?
Yeah. Who isn't taking their phone in with you? Come on. I mean, for the first 2 years of iPhones, people are like, ew, you're gross. Now it's like, who doesn't have their iPhone?
Like there is a study about like 90% of everyone that's connecting on like all the dating apps, they're on the toilet.
Yeah. I heard that even AI is taking over matching people.
Yeah.
Like that people are like, match me. And they're letting AI match them even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not surprised, but I'm like, wow.
So, and that's, I think that in what needs to happen now with AI in the real estate sector is it's always going to be a belly-to-belly interaction. I don't care if you're 23 years old right now and you're afraid to talk to somebody because you're like this with your phone all day long. Guess what? When you're spending hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars for a purchase of something, you're going to want to talk to a warm-blooded person.
Yes. I'm not trying to cut you off, man. I swear to God. But even taking the social media part and you're saying the belly-to-belly thing, I'm leaving for Italy in 4 days, right? And today I took time to send a video to every single one of my current clients, and they've already known this. This is me layering the cake. But today was an updated video with my agent that's going to be on their file while I'm gone, and all these things, and clients that are coming in. So my entire pipeline. So my whole pipeline knows they're also taken care of. This is where we're at. Da 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 da. Do you know how many people were like, thank you so much for the video. That was nice FaceTime with you. So many of my clients are in Germany. I mean, this was sent out all over the world, right? Germany, LA, New York, Florida, like all over the place. But I took 30 seconds to 60 seconds to send them a video, and it made their day. And they're like, have fun in Italy, Falisha. We'll be watching you on Instagram.
So
you know what I mean?
Here's two things I'm going to leave you with.
Okay.
Is you should do a video to say, realtors, what's the best way to get business? Go on vacation.
Right.
Right? That always happens.
Always.
Right?
Always.
And so to say, that's your lead in.
Yes.
That's going to get people's attention.
Yes.
That's the hook.
Yes.
And then say, here are the 5 things I do. And then just go
good one.
Point, and then have whoever you have go ahead and put in, reach out with a personalized bomb video, you know, set your away messages, make sure that you do this, make sure the TC knows who do you have in charge of these things, right?
Contact points, phone numbers for everybody.
But do a really quick 45 seconds or less.
That's a great one.
Right?
That's a
Go
great
boom,
one.
boom, boom.
Knuckles.
And point so it just shows
so
up,
good.
right?
Yep.
Second thing is this, and it's something I've become really good at, is when you go away, most people are there, they do a couple of posts, and then game over.
I know.
It's more like telling a story. You've got a beginning, a middle, and an end. I want to see you at the airport. And again, I was bougie. I'm 53, 54 in November. I was bougie before I was fucking bougie. I'm at the goddamn Centurion Lounge right here at my fucking McCarran and doing my thing. I don't call it Harry Reid for other reasons. And so, but I'm there enjoying sometimes I might have eaten a gummy.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying the goddamn roasted chicken and a fucking chocolate chip cookie and a mocha. And I'm loving it.
Yes.
Loving it.
Yes.
Before I'm flying wherever to go see Brandy or whatever.
People are now going to check in on you throughout that trip. They know that. They're like, oh, I want to see what he's doing.
I am.
Yeah.
And I'll say, and you could say, I'm leaving and this is where I'm going.
Yes.
And then when I get there, it's every day if something comes up that's super cool.
Yeah.
Like Brandy and I were on a cruise, Virgin Cruise Lines. Oh my God. Richard Branson's the fucking man. My first cruise ever. Were 5 nights, loved it.
Yeah.
But we're at South Beach for 2 days ahead of time. Whenever something cool happens, post it and make sure it's a video.
Yep.
Nobody wants to see a goddamn static image of your fucking cheeseburger when you're in Miami.
Yep.
Give a fuck about your shoestring fries. Fuck you.
Feeling attacked. Just kidding.
I want to see you take the shoestring fry and your fucking amazing girlfriend is taking the ketchup and the mayonnaise and making fry sauce in front of you because she's a badass. Yeah. And then you dip your shoe and go, oh my God, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Reason number 1, why to bring a girlfriend with you on vacation. You know,
fry sauce.
Built-in fry sauce maker.
I got Real's idea and fry sauce.
Built-in fry sauce maker, and she's not Mormon and fucking not from Utah, but can make goddamn fry sauce. Oh my God. So but little things like that. And again, Italy, that's bucket list. I'm like, oh my God. So it's like when you're going.
Yep.
And so many people are like, oh, well, it's bragging. No, it's not. Be proud of it. You give yourself some grace. You work your ass off. You are absolutely ready, willing, and able, and you've allowed yourself to fly that flag of your success.
Thank you.
With you and your husband and your family and your kids, whatever.
I'm still coming into that, believe it or not.
We'll talk about that later because that is something that people I'm working with, that's the biggest thing for any mid to top level producer, especially the big producers are like, is this too much to show this? No. Now, you just purchasing, a Porsche. Yeah, no one gives a shit.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Don't give a shit.
Yes.
But if you're traveling, you're creating an experience.
And people want to go with you.
If you're going to Disney World with your kids,
Yes.
fuck Disneyland, by the way. I can't stand it.
Yeah, don't get me started
People
on
with
that.
no sense
Don't
of
get me
personal
started on that.
space
Don't get me
and
started
a
on
whole
that. It's gonna
cultural
go
thing.
real bad,
Go down that fucking
real
road.
bad, yeah.
But Disney World, I'm all in. All in. Because I grew up, my grandparents lived in Fort Lauderdale. I'm from upstate New York. I grew up going to there.
Yeah.
You've got me. That's my jam is Disney World. And you know what? Let DeSantis and the CEO Iger who runs Disney, let them have a goddamn cock measuring contest all day long so less people are going to the parks. I'm taking Jack within the next 2 months.
That's awesome.
My 7-year-old son. We're fucking going.
Yeah.
I don't give a frog's fuck about politics. Don't care. I don't drink Bud Light. I don't give a shit. Don't fucking care, Felicia.
Yeah.
And so, but I just think that for you, like Italy, like if you don't like Italy, get the fuck out of my country. North Korea is that way. Get out.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah.
Because Italy is like for anybody that is you appreciate
And I'm looking
history
to buy.
and fashion.
That's the whole other part that
And I've
everybody's
seen
like,
some of your
what
stuff.
the hell is she
And
doing?
We
And
got
I'm like,
we got to do
I
a
know.
part 2 of this because you're like, I love how you do like syndication stuff. And you're like, hey, and the one thing I'd recommend for you is to say, you don't need $100,000 or $200,000 to buy a place in Italy. Find X amount of friends,
partner
with
that wants to
X
do
amount
it
of
with
money.
you. Yep.
And if you can find 10 people
Yep.
with $10,000, guess what? You can buy a place on Lake Como or whatever.
You can do whatever.
Right? You need to be able to connect the dots.
Yes.
And so what I would do is when you're there, film you're gonna anyways.
I'm going to.
A shitload of content.
Yep.
And then come back, don't think about it.
Yep.
And then once you've enjoyed your time there and all that shit and the memories you create, is it just you and your husband or the kids?
Just me and my
Oh my
husband.
God, you're a fucking blast. Jesus Christ.
Because I'm shopping for a house in Italy. And if my kids one time said, I'm hungry, I'm hot, I would probably kick them like a fucking football.
Oh, yeah, as you
I
should.
love them very much.
No,
If they said that
as
one
you should.
time, I'd punch them in the face. I've been waiting way
as
too
you
long
should.
for this.
For you to connect the dots
Yeah.
to say, hey, y'all, this is what I'm looking for. And you can run the numbers, go, you know what, for $200,000, we can get into a decent, income property there,
Yeah.
Airbnb, whatever, to say, hey, if you've got $20,000 and you've got 10 friends, or I can help you
already
find,
happened.
or I can help you find
It's already happened.
9 other people, that type of content, because I saw like your syndication stuff is awesome, but put numbers to it.
Right. No, you're right.
What's my barrier of, what's
You're
the
right.
barrier of entry?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Lead with data.
Just saying I wanted to buy in Italy and I was already taking all the appropriate
Love
steps to buy in Italy.
Love
you know how
that.
many lunches I've sat at where somebody's going, well, how can I get in? How can I do that with
I'm
you?
interested.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and it's, but if you were to say, if you have $10,000, I can get you into an income producing property in Italy.
Yep.
That's your hook.
Yep.
What?
Yeah.
And you say that while you're there and like Leaning Tower of Pisa is fucking over your goddamn shoulder or whatever. You're in Milan, something. But to do that type of stuff, that type of content when you're there, you could be posting that for years, my friend.
You are right. And I definitely have been documenting it a little bit. But man, the questions are rolling in like crazy right now because I think people find it unattainable. And what you just said is it is completely attainable. My big dream, this big thing that people are like, this is crazy. She's crazy buying an international property. Guys, you're thinking too small then. If you don't think that you can buy an international property, we probably shouldn't be in the same room
Especially
together.
now. Like, if you don't have a global perspective
Right.
on your portfolio,
Right.
if you have a global perspective, 1983 just called and went, good job.
Right. Dude, I mean
come on.
even an 11-hour plane ride. It's okay. So in 11 hours, 12 after Amsterdam, I'm going to be in Italy. Like that is not cosmic, guys.
How long in Amsterdam for?
1 hour.
That's not long enough. Not long enough.
Not enough for your
long enough.
gummies.
Well, that's just to me, it's a bucket list thing just to like, again,
But that's why I'm buying
just
Italy.
to walk through.
That's why I'm buying Italy to have a hub home in Europe so my husband and I can travel all over Europe. That's the reason why I want it.
you.
I have my hub home here in the US. I have my Airbnbs around the US.
Yeah.
Now I need one in Italy so that him and I can go to Spain, Germany, Switzerland, Poland, Amsterdam, and pay nothing.
If somebody wants to buy an income property through a syndication deal in Italy within range, and again, not holding it to this, again, it's out there, but What's the range of money they should have?
So what I'm looking to buy right now is probably going to be between $250,000 to $400,000 US. Okay. And that is going to produce. Now, I am finding a way to get a loan, which hasn't been something that a lot of people have been able to do in the past. So I thought I was going to have to buy that with cash. Those would be completely different numbers if I bought with somebody cash. Now we're looking at putting about 50% down. So for really flat round numbers, let's say I bought a $300,000 Italian home. I'm going to put down $150,000. Well, right there, if somebody wants to partner with me for $75K out of pocket, you too, sir, can own a home in Italy. Is that it?
And what type of income would that be throwing off a month?
It depends, but the towns that I'm looking in are the towns that Americans and people are not afraid to purchase $200 and $250 bottles of wine. Like that is what they say. The streets are clean. There's no graffiti. You have to take a train to get there from Florence. Yeah, and people want to go to the hilltop town of Montepulciano because that's where world-class wine is at. So in those areas, you can charge $150 US a night. But again, I've got a $150,000 loan on these things. It's nothing. And the euro dollar parity, that's another reason why I'm going, because it's going to cost me $1.04 to the euro right now. Whereas I was watching this market 3 and 5 years ago, and it was almost triple the US dollar. So why not go right now?
You need to be carpet bombing people with factual money videos.
Yeah.
About here's the dollar, here's the lira.
Yeah.
Here's your barrier of entry to get into this.
Yeah.
And here's the, anticipated ROI. Monthly.
Yep.
And obviously what I would do is go into a syndication deal and say, it's all going to debt service. Like, I don't want to see a dime. I want it paid off, because then you take that equity from that and you buy another one. And right, like that's how normal people fucking do it. So you set up the parameters to go, I'm setting the syndication deals up, but you're not going to see a dime. For a while.
That's my contract. My contracts are usually 5 years.
7 years.
5 years. You don't get to touch the property.
You don't see a dime, but guess what? In 5 years, motherfucker, we're buying another one, and you could black out a week or two if you want to come over with your family, and it's yours. That's that's part of the thing.
Most of my contracts that I partner on are for 5 years. Can't touch it.
I adore you.
Oh, thanks. I adore you. This was fun. I feel like we could have done this for 2 or 3 hours.
I get goosebumps because this is my thing. I started doing this January 17th. I've now dropped over 260 videos on YouTube from posting almost every day.
It's crazy.
Long and short form content.
High five.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a lot of work. And it's a lot of fucking work.
A lot of work.
Yeah.
But I love this.
Good.
Like when I get to the point where I fuck you money from this and it's coming, I'm not going to stop.
They call as long as there's Wi-Fi. Forever green, baby.
I'll be wearing my fucking welcome to Las Vegas sign thong in the Seychelles as long as there's Wi-Fi with an iPad with Brandy and putting out content because it's all batched. Don't give a shit. Or by then, hire someone to put my shit out for me. I still like doing it.
Yeah.
I still like pushing my stuff out.
Yeah.
I like coming up with, I battle with YouTube shorts with what the headline is, and it'll be over 2 or 3 days. Fuck you, Google. I'm going to figure out something, make it shorter, make it longer, put this in there, put this in there. The next thing you know, I've like 600 subscribers, but I'm getting now 2, 3, 4, 10,000 views on YouTube Shorts, which most people aren't doing that.
Yeah.
That's a biggie.
Yeah.
And how I'm using ChatGPT to come up with my description.
That was my downfall. I think I swapped from one to focus on another where I probably should have just continued on all platforms.
Yeah.
So for anybody out there, if you're getting into this at all, just don't be afraid to just throw it on every single platform.
It's just like you with real estate, buy and hold.
Yep.
Go into YouTube, keep doing it, hold. Trust me, within time, it'll pop.
Right.
I just hit within 9 months, I'm at 550,000 views.
That's great.
And I'm not as pretty as you are.
That's great.
Like, look at this. Looks like, my fucking face looks like someone drew a smiley face on a thumb.
I love what you look like on your reels. Right. I'm not letting you have that one.
Well, thank you, but I'm like, come on.
I also like what you say, because it's blunt and to the point. And either people are going to like you or they're not. But both are going to watch. Both are going to watch.
Fine. I'm fine with that, to the point where I even take, when someone gives me a shitty comment, if I have the time, I drop the transcript of the video in ChatGPT, and I say, here's the video that I said, that I talked in. Here's the not nice comment. Please create 5 funny replies.
Yeah, I saw something similar that you did.
And
there's a couple, when you come up too, you say something, I'm like,
Yeah.
You just said that, you know?
And I'm at a point now that I don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah.
I have zero fear of judgment.
Yeah.
I've got money put away that I'm self-financed. I'm good for over a year.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot quicker than that before I'm in the black. I know that because I'm offering something to realtors and lenders now and title people nationwide. I can now talk to whoever I want to, whenever I want to about anything.
And you've already made the contacts. So you're actually using your database to already move forward this way. It's awesome. It's been really cool to be, it's a fun thing to do at 53 to be an entrepreneur and have my DBA and getting all that shit rolling. I love it. But you had to believe in yourself first.
You know what? It was, I love Julie Cimarelli over Fidelity, and bless her heart, when she let me go, she was in tears. I was elated.
Freedom.
I was elated. I gave her a hug.
It cut the chains on you.
I go, honey, it's okay.
Yeah.
This was meant to be.
Yeah.
I'm
good.
Believe in God, the universe. I'm not a God guy. I'm a universe guy. And I think that there's a board of directors somewhere in the, wherever, in the ether. And there's all these guys and girls sitting around going, all right, Jeff is going to take him this long, but he's going to, this is now, if he's going to go and be happy doing this. And I'm all ready.
Yeah.
I breathe rarefied air now.
Yeah.
And
I think you shared it with me the day that, around the day that you got let go.
I did.
And instantly there was nothing in your text that was like sad. No, I'm going here. I already know what I'm going to do.
Love it. Love it. And it's not, I'm not selling anything. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. Here's my rate. You're going to pay it. You're not. Okay. I'm fine with that. And it's just, you're doing what you love. And people need to get to that sooner. Like, you're much younger than me. Bless your heart, because you're saying 5 years and I'm out is awesome. Awesome. I want you to make me one promise that you'll come back again.
Yes.
And we'll do this again.
Okay.
Because this has
so
been
much
awesome.
more, right?
I mean, we're an hour and a half in.
Yeah.
And we could do like a Rogan, 3-hour marathon.
Yeah.
Of just us.
We'll change clothes and we'll come back and it'll be a part 2.
Like, do the whole thing. But thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
I admire you. I admire your brain, what you've done. I admire how you mom.
Thank you.
And love
Still
that
figuring that
very
shit
much.
out, man. As we all are.
From your lips to God's ears, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.